Could you tell me what line and where? Because like it's not working.
Because I don't know how this works. Is this supposed to be only in
JavaScript?
no, okay. Because like this code, it has like a class name and like a package, but I don't know if how this is supposed to work. So I don't know if it's just inside the main or something.
Like there's
Okay,
something
just
wrong.
try
It
like
doesn't.
yeah, wait. Okay.
My errors. Technical.
Yeah, I don't think scanner works on this thing because it's a scanner is wrong, and then the classes, because I don't know.
Oh, okay. It doesn't work on this.
Yeah, because I have like it's inside like a folder, and then the folder's name is on this. So just try like deleting some of the lines, like the first line, like yeah, all those lines, the seventh line.
The seventh line.
Yeah, I don't know what you have to delete, but
Mm,
yeah, just try that.
oh my god. So much error.
Okay, delete the main line too. Because I don't know if scanner works. I don't think scanner works on this online thing.
Next thing you know, I'm just gonna be deleting everything.
Yeah, I don't know how this works because it says class. I don't know. Just get NetBeans.
If I use NetBeans, they're like so much complaining. Like you have to answer so much questions.
Oh, like the account making thing.
Yeah, see, look. This is the first thing I see when I get in. Can you see it? My NetBeans?
No, I can't see your screen. I mean, it's still on the online debugger thing.
Oh, let me reshare. How do I reshare? Stop share. Can I reshare? See?
Oh yeah, and then
Like, this is why I see, like, I don't know what I do now.
okay, click file on the top left corner.
This?
File. No, the words file,
Oh. Okay.
and then new project,
Wait.
and then click on Java application to your right.
Java application. This?
Yeah, click next. And then whatever you want to name it. Yeah, you can just click finish.
Okay, I'll just click finish. Why is it taking so long?
I don't know.
Jason, change your name, please. Is it
Yeah,
better?
What?
yeah.
I didn't change my name.
I mean, like your background, you said like my name is.
I know, I kind of accidentally clicked the wrong one. So yeah, started glitching a lot.
Yeah. Wait, so like the thing on GBD, if I like just copy it down there, is it good?
No, actually, you have to copy like the stuff inside main. So yeah, from now on, I'll just do that. Okay, just go to the paste thing.
What do you mean paste? What do you mean?
Yeah, because my thing's name was teaching Java, but your program's name is Java application 1. So like
I have
everywhere
to
where
change
it says, yeah, I think you
I
have to
have to change
rename that to Java. Yeah,
Like my this, like this, right?
yeah.
You want me to start sharing?
Sure.
Wait, how do you run it? Is it just that?
No, and then click the other thing too.
What do you mean by other?
Like the other teaching Java, change it to Java application one.
Oh, okay. Let me stop sharing.
Okay, so let me share my screen now. Okay, so welcome back to another Java class. So this time, because we've covered like a lot of stuff already, right? We covered like the math operators, we covered if and if else, we've covered loops and arrays and strings. So so now I just want to like do some questions, right? We're gonna do like several questions on each topic, because yeah, I'm gonna show you guys how to actually use these things, right? So for this class, we're just gonna start at the top, right? This class, I'm just gonna be doing some, so we're gonna have some like math problems. So basically it's just, we're just trying to use these operators. Like it's a problem and you have to use these operators to do something. I'll show you guys how to do it. But yeah, there's a lot of uses for this and a lot of questions are gonna need you to like think about it, think about what operators to use. It's like kind of like math, but like you have to know how to solve it yourself first, and then you have to know how to like translate that to computer. Yeah, so we're also gonna have some if and if else statement questions, right? So yeah, let's just go into the questions. I'm just gonna, yeah, so if and if else, I'm just gonna talk about that again. So if, right, so there's a condition on the if, and then the condition is basically a true or false question. And then, right, so if that condition is true, the statements inside the code, inside the if statement runs, right? If condition is true, it runs. If it's false, and then there's an else thing here, then the code inside the else runs. So that's all if is, right? So whenever you wanna, whenever a question is like, if this happens, you have to do this, right? That's when you use if and if else. So let's go to NetBeans. Right, okay. So first up, we have some general math problems. We have 4 questions here just for math problems, right? So first one, we're gonna start off relatively easy. So actually not that easy, but yeah. So read this question. Write a program that reads the length of the base and the height of a right angle triangle and prints the area. Every number is given on a separate line. That doesn't really matter, right? So basically, what this question is saying is that imagine you have a right angle triangle, and I think you guys have learned the area of a triangle before, but if not, it's just base times height divided by 2, right? So on these math questions, you're gonna have to know these, like sometimes, yeah, sometimes you're gonna have to know these formulas because it's gonna like tell you to actually calculate a math problem. So for this one, right, the area of a triangle is equal to base times height divided by 2, right? So that's just a general formula for a triangle, right? So all we're doing for this question is trying to apply this formula. So yeah, the question says it gives us the base, it gives us the height, and we just have to apply this formula to the area, right? So here, this is basically what the code is gonna be. So first up, right, this says we need to get user input. So we're gonna have to get a scanner, right? Every time the user needs to input something, has to be scanner, right? I'm just gonna say scanner equals new. Right, so that's the scanner code. Every time in NetBeans, right, you have to use capitalized, you have to capitalize these S's or else it's not gonna work. But yeah, when you write this, it's gonna show error. So if you click on this little thing and click on this, then it goes away. Yeah, so normally you have to write this line by yourself, but if you just do that and click on that error button, it does it for you, right? So yeah, but you need this line for scanner to work. All right, so basically we have a scanner here, and this is just the formula we have to do. So I'm just gonna like use that formula, right? So first up, we have the base of the triangle, right? The base, I create a variable called base, right? So we can just do whatever name we want. Usually using the actual names is better, right? So int base equals, so we want a input. So we're gonna say, wait, I'm gonna say scanner dot next int. Yeah, so that this line, if you guys have forgotten, it just takes an input from the user, right? It uses the scanner and it takes an integer input from the user. So we have the base, now we need the height. Same thing, except different variable. Yeah, so we have the base and height now. So now we basically just use this formula, right? This formula, so the variables are just the names in the formula. We can just use everything as a formula. So here we can just have a variable, right? Int area, right? So we can create this variable and then we can say area equals base times height divided by 2, right? So this is exactly the same as what I wrote over here, but yeah, that's how you do it. So whenever you have a formula, just create the variables and put it into the formula. Excuse me, sorry. Okay, yeah. So whenever you have a formula, just get the variables, plug in the numbers, and that's all you have to do. So now if we run this program, so we can do any number we like, right? 5, 10. Okay, sorry, I didn't actually get the print. So after we get the area, we're gonna have to print it. I forgot about that, right? So when we print it, it's gonna be system.out.println, right? And then in the brackets here, we just write area. So if we run this here, type in some numbers. So that gives us the area of the triangle, right? So you can test it out if it works. Just do some math, right? 5 times 10 divided by 2. If that's 25, it works, right? It's 25. So yeah. So now, whenever, if you ever need the area of a triangle, just, it's like a calculator. You can just plug it in and then it gives you it. All right. So question 2. I'm just gonna comment this out. So question 2, write a program that reads an integer number. So when I say reads, I just mean gets an input from the user, right? So it reads an integer number and prints its previous and next numbers. So usually when you get a question, it's gonna have some examples, right? I'm just gonna give you some examples. So what this question means is that say they give you 5, all you need to print is 4 and 6, right? So just the numbers, the previous and next numbers. So that's right, easy enough. It's just, if you think about it, previous one is just -1 and next is just +1, right? So this should be easy too. Let's just do this right now. So first up, we read an integer, right? So that's all we need to do. So this name can be anything you want. Int num equals read, not read int, sorry, scanner dot next int. Right, so same thing we did over here. We just have a variable, right? Create a variable, and then we get an input from the user. So we can just go straight onto printing its previous and next numbers. So we can do it in one line, but I'm just gonna show you guys. So what I'm gonna do, I'll just create a variable called previous. And so what's previous gonna be, right? Yeah, think about it. Previous is just the number -1, right? So yeah, previous is equal to number -1. And we can print another thing called next. Next is just number +1. So yeah, so you have your previous and next numbers. Just a little bit of math, you know, if you think about it a little bit, it's not that hard. Yeah, so now we just print it, right? So I'm just gonna do this shortcut. If you guys forgot, on NetBeans, if you type SOUT and then press tab, it gives you the printing. Okay, so we're just gonna say, right? So over here, I'm actually gonna make it a little bit more user-friendly. So yeah, because if we just print out previous number and next number, if this is an actual program, like it's not gonna be an actual program because people aren't that stupid. But if this is an actual program, they're not gonna know which one's previous, which one's next, whatever, right? So we can fix this by actually writing stuff to our user. So yeah, remember when we write something, like when we're actually trying to print out something that we're writing, it has to be inside of quotations. So what we want to type here, right? So we can say the previous number is, and whenever you have multiple elements, like multiple things in the printing, just use the addition sign. This won't, yeah, they won't confuse this for adding stuff because it just knows. So we can just say the previous number is, right, previous, sorry, right? So here, this is a message that we wrote. It's inside quotations. Here is not inside quotations, so the program knows it's a variable. So we do another plus, right? And then we can write like, because you always have to picture in your mind what it's gonna print. So over here, it's not gonna print a period. So I'm gonna put a period, and then I'll say the next number is, right, same deal, plus, and then next. Sorry, no quotations, forgot about that. No quotations, next. So as you can see here, this is a message I'm actually writing. This is another message I'm actually writing. And these two are our variables. So I hope you guys can understand that, right? If we print it here, we just, right. The previous number is 233. The next number is 235, right? So that's easy to understand. It's not like confusing or anything. It clearly tells us, right? So it's a good habit to do this instead of just printing out the answer, because if you're ever like working for a company or like just whatever, if this is in real life, this is pretty important. I'm gonna show you guys, right? If we didn't have this message here, it's just gonna look like this. Like, wait, oh wait, okay. So yeah, so here, this actually like mistaken it for like actually adding, because if you actually have two variables here, it's gonna actually add. so you need like a space between it or whatever, right? When you wanna print two variables in a single line. But usually we just print it in separate lines, right? Usually we have a variable printing like previous, and then we have another and then we have another thing printing next. So yeah, this is like a little bit clearer as well, right? So if we do, it's gonna say 22, 24, right? That's pretty clear too. But whatever you do, just make sure the user actually understands it. All right, so I went through those two questions pretty quick. If you guys have any questions about that, let me know. I'll just pull up chat. All right, so now let's move on to number 3. So here we have a harder question, right? It's long, it's hard, right? Yeah, it's longer than the previous questions, right? And it's gonna be harder. You're gonna have to think about it more. So let's get right into it. Right, okay. Given a 2-digit integer, print its left digit, which means its 10th digit, and then its right digit, which means it's 1st digit. So here's a little hint, right? Use the operator of integer division for obtaining the 10th digit, and the operator of taking remainder for obtaining the 1st digit. So that might just sound a little bit confusing, but all it's telling you to do is you have a 2-digit number and you're basically separating it into its components, right? It's 10th digit and 1st digit, and you're printing them separately. So that's all this program is telling you to do. But yeah, so I guess I already have the hint for how we do this. So yeah, so just think about it first, right? Just think about it. How do we get the 1st digit, and how do we get the 10th digit? Right, okay. Just take a moment, think about it. Like, because this is math, right? There's these operators, you need to think about like what happens when we use a certain operator, right? All right, okay. So since I already have the hint here, I was gonna let you guys guess and stuff, but it's all right. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you guys what I mean, right? So say we have a number like 65, right? A 2-digit number, random number, 65, and we want the 10th digit. So how can we get the 10th digit, right? So over here, it says we use integer division. So how do we use division to get 65? Yeah, actually, now, does anyone want to guess? Or answer if you know? How do we get the 10th digit? By using division. Nobody? Fourth Hokage. Yeah, exactly. Divide by 10. Yeah.
10.
So
Divided.
yeah, divided by 10. So yeah, that's right. When we divide it by 10, we just get the remainder. It doesn't matter because that's how division works. And it's not gonna have a decimal. It's just gonna have the result rounded down, right? So in this case, 65 divided by 10 is just gonna be 6, right? It doesn't matter if it's like 68. It's still gonna be 6 when you divide it by 10. Right. So we found out what this is, right? 68 divided, let's just change it to 68. Okay, 68 divided by 10 is equal to 6. All right, so now, so that's how we get the 10th digit. So how do we get the 1st digit, right? So here, the hint,
Use the percent sign or something.
yeah, Yeah, so percent sign, and what do we do?
It'll give you the remainder, I think.
Yeah, so that's basically right. So the percent sign, it gives us the remainder whenever we divide it by anything, right? So if we do 68 and then percent sign 10, right? That's just gonna give us 8, because 68 divided by 10 is 6, as we can see here. And then 68, the remainder 10 is just gonna give us the remainder, which is 8. So that works out. This is basically the answer to our question. And now we just have to translate it into code. Okay. So I already used num. What else? So let's just call this number. Actually, let's
But
call this
can
number.
you use it again? Because it's like in like the thingy-majiggies. Like it
Oh
won't
no,
stand
you
it.
can't use it again, because if I don't include these comments, then it's gonna.
Yeah, if you include the comments, can you use it again?
Yeah, if I include the comments, I can use it again. Yeah. But after this, I'm just gonna get rid of the comments. So yeah, so I'm just gonna use a different thing, because yeah, if I have the comments, you can use it again, but without the comments, you can't use the same name. All right, so I'm just gonna name this num2, right? So num2 equals, so right, so just input, so scanner dot int. So we just get the input, and then we're just doing this, right? We're just gonna do this. So we can separate it into variables, so we actually know what we're dealing with. So int, right, tens, I'm just gonna say tens equals num2, right, as we did before, divided by 10. That's all it is. And then int 1, for the ones digit, obviously, right, equals num2 to modulus, right? This is called modulus 10. So that's all we do, and then we can just print it out. So as before, let's make it clearer to whoever's reading this. So the tens digit is, right, and then the ones digit is ones, and period. So this is yeah, we have
But
to
what if you
include
have what if you put a 3-digit number?
3-digit number. We can try that, but it's just gonna give us the tens digit and ones digit still, right? Doesn't matter. It's always gonna give us the tens digit and ones digit, because
So
say if you have like,
how long the
yeah, it
number
doesn't
is?
matter.
It's just
Well, I think
hello?
it cut out. What did you say? Sorry, I didn't hear you. Hello? What did you say? Hello?
Wait, but like if you do 6,000 and then you divide it by 10, won't they just give you 600?
Oh yeah, that's true. So that actually just doesn't work. Yeah, so if it's like a 3-digit number, yeah. So this isn't, so the tens digit isn't gonna work, but the ones digit is gonna work, right? But then this question, it says it's gonna give you a 2-digit number, so you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, that's right. 3-digit numbers is not gonna work. All right, so let's run this, and let's give
6,000.
right. Okay, tens digit is 6, ones digit is 5.
You try putting 6,000?
Yeah. Tens digit is 600. Ones digit is 0. Yeah, so that's when it is. Right? Only 2-digit works, I guess. Yeah. All right. So I hope you guys understood that, right? So all we're doing for like all of these questions is we just have like a general formula. We have to think about that like with our heads, right? We can use paper and pencil if we want. So we have the formula and we're just gonna put it into code, right? Just get the number and put it there. That's all we're doing. So question 4. This one is actually, yeah, this one is a bit harder, right? So it's kind of like question 3. Right, given a 3-digit number, find the sum of its digits. So it's kind of like number 3, but it's going to be harder because we're going to have 3 digits. So let's start off. We're just going to think about this like question 3. Of course, we're still going to use.
Easy? You just do the same thing as question number 3, and then at the system out, you just do the 10 plus the 1s plus the hundreds.
Yeah. So, but then how are we gonna get the 10s and the hundreds? So first up, I'm just gonna tell you guys. So let's just get a random number, right? 256. So first up, tell me how you get the 1s digit.
Divided by 10. No, divided by 100.
No, the 1s digit. This one.
Oh, no, modulus.
Yeah. Modulus what?
10.
Yeah. So modulus 10. That's gonna give you 6. Yeah. So now, how do we get the 10s digit?
Divided by 100 and then minus the first. Yeah, minus.
Yeah.
Minus 6. I mean, minus 60, I think. No. Am I on the right track right now?
I mean, I don't think there's supposed to be a minus because you never know what number you're actually gonna minus, you know? Because you
Okay.
never know what the original number is. Yeah, just the divided by 100. You can definitely do that, but yeah. So 10s digit, how do we do that, right? So what if it was just a 25, right? If it was just a 25, then getting the 5, right, it's just modulus 10. So how do we get it from a 256 to a 25?
Minus 10.
Minus 10?
Modular. Divide.
Yeah, okay. Divide, exactly. Divide. So yeah, 256, if we divide by 10, it's gonna give us 25, right? So this is gonna give us 25. And then how do we get, so now, right now we can just do 25 modulus 10, right?
Yeah.
So that gives us 5. So yeah, so sometimes you're just gonna have to do multiple steps here, right? So that's all we're gonna do. So 256 divided by 10, we get 25. Modulus 10, we get 5, right? So that's good. So now, how do we get the hundreds unit?
Divided by 100.
Divide by 100? Yeah, that's good, yeah. So hundreds unit, like you said, divided by 100. Yeah, that gives us 2. Yeah, so that's all we want, right? And then we just add it up, and that's the question. Good job. Yeah, okay, nice. So now let's just write the code for this, right? Int num3 equals scanner dot next int. So yeah, so let's just I'm just gonna write this into code, but as long as you understand the logic here, it's pretty easy to put it into code. We just need variables and names and stuff, right? So we can still do like ones equals, instead of 256, we just put num3, but otherwise same thing, right? Int tens equals num3 divided by 10, and then modulus 10. I feel like a bee in my room. Okay, and then int 100 is gonna be num3 divided by 100, right? So as long as you understand this thing, you can turn it into code pretty easily. And so sum of its digits, we can just get another variable called sum equals ones plus 10 plus hundreds. Right, now you're done. You just have to print it out. The sum of the digits is, all right. If we run this, we give him, the sum of the digits is 13, right? So,
200.
what?
200.
200,
Yeah.
right? 2, because it's, yeah, the sum of this. Right.
It gives an error.
What? Yeah.
I thought I was gonna give like an error.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it doesn't matter if it's 0 or not. It's just, yeah, the program's pretty smart. All right. So, yeah. So all these questions, so yeah, so we're basically done with the math questions now, right? So all these questions is just something you need to calculate in math, and then what you can do is you can just get an example and then think about what you have to do to that example to get what you want, and then you can write that down or just just think about it, think about what you want to do, and then translate that into code. So that's what you're doing. A little bit of logic. All right. So now we're done with math questions. Let's move on to else questions. Question 1. Pretty easy. Given an integer, print odd if it's odd and even if it's even. So how do we know if it's odd or if it's even, right? So anyone want to give some suggestion?
Divided by 2.
Yeah, divide by 2, right? So if it's even, it's divisible by 2. If it's not even, it's not divisible by 2. So what do we write? Give me the code.
Number divided by 2.
Number divided by 2.
And it will give you 1, it's an even. It will give you 2, it's...
Yeah, are you sure it's divide or so let's see. So yeah, modulus, right? Modulus. So modulus 2, right? Right, so if it's equal, right? So if it's divisible, when you modulus, there's no remainder, right? So modulus 2 is 0. If it's not 0, then it's odd. Yeah, so if it's not 0, it's just gonna be 1, right? Yeah, so that's pretty simple. We're just gonna so same thing, get a number and we're gonna read its input and print odd if it's even, print odd if it's odd and even otherwise, right? So it's harder to, like, you can test it for odd and then even otherwise, where you can do even if it's even and odd otherwise, it doesn't matter. So yeah, so let's just do if. So we already know it's going to be if else, because we're saying if this is true, we print odd. If this other thing is true, we print even. So that's why it's if. So as we did here, if num4 is divisible by 2. So remember here, equal sign is going to be 2 equal signs, right? So inside an if condition is always going to be 2 equal signs, because remember in Java, 1 equal sign means you're assigning something to a variable, right? So if there's 1 equal sign, it means you're assigning this thing to this variable.
So you're saying you can assign variables in brackets?
No, but like, look, okay, if you do that, it's gonna give you an error, right? Because what you're trying to do here is this variable, you're trying to assign 0 to that variable, but in the if structure, you can't have that. So it has to be double equal sign.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just telling you, if it's 1 equal sign, it means assigning, and that's why it won't work, right? So 2 equal signs, that actually means it checks if the 2 sides are equal. So yeah, so if is divisible by 2, then we print even, right? So here we can do another condition, right? We can say if it's not equal to 0 or if it's equal to 1, but we can also just do else, right? Because what else does is that if this is false, then it does everything in else. So yeah, because if a number is not even, then it's going to be odd. So yeah, so if it's not even, it's going to be odd. Let's run this. Right, even, odd, right? So it doesn't matter how big the number is, right? It just checks it. If it's divisible, even, else
No,
it's
but
odd.
you just have to check the last number.
Yeah, you just have to check the last number. But the program doesn't know that, you know. You can do just the last number, but that's gonna take more time. Like, yeah. So computer, it does everything like instantly, so you don't have to actually like try to make it faster, you know. All right, so that is that. Oops. All right, now we have the second question. Given given 2 integers, print the least of them, right? So you're gonna see these types of questions a lot, because a lot of times we're gonna have like 2 or more integers sometimes, and you're gonna have to know like which one's the greatest, right? Which one's the highest value, or in this case, which one's the least. So it only gives us 2 integers, right? So how do we see if one is smaller than the other? That's pretty simple, right? We just have this sign over here. That's all it is. This sign is just saying one on the left is bigger and the one on the right if it's smaller, right? So this is a classic if and else question. Let's do this. So I'm just gonna do number 1, right? Just to give it some. All right. So we have our 2 numbers. Given input, and then we print the least of them. So what do we do here, right? So the logic we're gonna have to do here is that if one number is smaller than the other, you print it, right? So it's not really the least, it's just whichever one's smaller. If we have more numbers, it's gonna be harder, right? So, all right, 2 numbers, print the least. We can just do if number 1 is smaller than number 2, we print number 1, and right, else we print number 2. So, right, that's all it is. 2 numbers, one is smaller than the other. If one is smaller than 2, you print 1. If it's not smaller, that means 2 is either going to be equal or bigger, so you can just print 2. Yeah, so that shouldn't be that hard, right? If we have some numbers here, right, 23, yeah, that's all you're doing, comparing the 2 values, whichever one's smaller, you print that. All right. So the final question, this is gonna be a little bit harder, right? So given a month, right? So an integer from 1 to 12, right? Corresponding to the months of the year, print the number of days in it in the year 2017. But let's just ignore that. 2017 doesn't matter. So just a regular day, a regular year. So not a leap year, right? If you guys didn't know, leap years have an extra day. We're just gonna do a regular year. So we have to think about this question. So we have to think about what months are 31 days, what months are 30 days, and February is 28 days, right? So on these questions, you can search it up, right? So so sometimes you can't remember these things. I just searched it up, right? You have a list. So January, March, May, July, August, October, December. Those are the months that you have 31 days. Everything else, 30 days, except for February, which has 28 days. So you guys should remember this, right? So, but yeah, we have a chart. Let's just implement it into code. So this is gonna be like a lot of separate conditions, right? I'm just gonna get started. So given a month, let's just say month equals scanner.next int. Right, so how do we do this? So anyone wanna go with me through the code? Like, what do I write? What do I write? Okay, I'm just gonna start it on this, right? So basically what we wanna do is we wanna see if it's equal to any of these months, right? So if it's equal to any of the 31 days, right, then it's gonna be 31 day. If it's equal to 2, it's gonna be 28 days. And if it's equal to any of the other months, it's gonna be 30 days, right? So multiple conditions. This has a lot of conditions. So I'm just gonna get started. Month equal 1, right? Said before, equal means equal sign. So now we need another condition. We could do like multiple if statements, but that's gonna be more like, that's gonna be longer, boring, right? So I mean, so it's just gonna take longer. So we can just do it in one line with multiple conditions. So as you've seen before, right? Inside an if loop, you have 2 of these symbols. It means and, right? This means and, this means or. So right here we're gonna use or, right? So or basically, you have 2 conditions, and then if one of them is true, then the whole thing is true, right? So if I have 0 equals 0 and 1 equals 2, that's going to be true because 0 equals 0 and one side is true, then the whole thing is true. Doesn't matter if 1 is not equal to 2, it's still going to be true, right? Oh, they said to record this, right? Yeah, it's just for you guys to look at after. So let's just get started. If month equals to 1, so we look at our list here. 1, 3, right? 5. So if it's equal to 1, right? Or if month equals to 3, or if month equals to 5, right? You have to write the whole condition every time you write the or else it doesn't work. And in these things, you can have like a bunch of statements, right? So right here, we're gonna have a bunch, right? And then we're gonna have 7, 7, 8, 10, and 12. So, all right. So that's one. That's a big line, but that's what we have to do. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12, right? So if the month is in one of those in that range, then it's going to be 31 days. So we can just output 31 days. So now we're going to have all the other months, right? You could just get a you could just get another condition really big for everything, but as you guys probably know, there's else, right? Else, if it's not these months, then it's going to be 30 days, except for 28, right? So let's cover that first. So else if it's 28, right? Else if month equals to 2, right? Then we print 28 days, and else we print 30 days. All right, so what does this say? Okay, so if month equals to 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, or 12, right? If all of these things, so if any of these things are true, then the whole thing is going to be true. That's how this works. That's how a chain of or works, right? If any of these things are true, then it's going to print 31 days, right? If they're not true, then it goes to test this condition, right? That's the else if. Else if basically means if this condition is false, then it tests this condition, right? So if month is equal to 2, then you print 28 days. And if it's not in this range and it's not equal to 2, that means it's gonna be it's gonna have 30 days. So we don't have to write the other condition, we can just write else. If we run this, let's say what month is it? I forgot. Okay, whoa. Okay, it's May 1st, so it's May. So we get 31 days. So this month has 31 days. If we have 28 days, or any of the other ones, 30 days, right? Anything. So yeah, that's how a big chain of if statements work. I mean, if conditions work, right? Okay. Okay. So now I'm gonna make that copy paste thing. I'll show you guys how to do it. What happened to this? I'm just gonna decomment everything. Decomment, uncomment. Oh, we already had ones in here. We have to have different names, right? As long as you understand what's happening, doesn't really matter what the name is. But sometimes when you look back at the code, you're gonna have like you're gonna be confused, right? So it's always better to have different like good names. So actually what I'm gonna do here, so you see the main function. So in Java, there's like different functions and stuff, but all the code we usually do, all the code that runs is going to be in the main function. So every time you start a Java program, there's going to be this line over here, and you write everything inside this line. So what I'm going to do is I'll just copy paste all the code here. So yeah, I'm going to copy paste all the code here. I'll make a new paste bin. So, right, new paste bin, create new paste. So yeah, so now if you guys click on this link, which I'm gonna post on Classroom, it's gonna take you here, right? So let's see, if I get rid of all of this. Right, so whenever your program starts, that's what this is gonna look like. So you go into the main function, right? You go into this main line, and if just copy paste everything here, and then okay, right, copy paste everything here, right, and then right. So yeah, can I edit this? So yeah, that's just how you guys do it, right? So if it didn't work before, that's because I copy pasted the whole thing. But now just create a new program with whatever name, and then go to your main function and copy paste everything there. And I think that's gonna work. So right, the last place actually had a extra thing, but all right. So this is the link. I'll post it into Classroom. But that's basically it for this class. Great class. We had some good participation from 2 people, right? But yeah, all right. So class is basically over. I'll see you guys next week, right? Next week Tuesday, and then Friday. Yeah.
I will go.
Thank you for teaching.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome, guys.
Thank you for teaching.
Kevin, would you like?
Yeah.
Before, can I share my screen?
Yeah.
Thank you for teaching.
Yeah, no problem. Bye.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
What is the problem?
You see that scanner line?
What scanner line?
Like beneath your void, the scanner line, yeah. Look at system. There's a word system.
Yeah.
The system isn't capitalized.
Oh, uppercase.
Yeah.
This one,
Yeah, the S needs to be uppercase.
the one inside the brackets.
Yeah.
That's it.
Also the discount decimal thing, there's an extra I there.
Where?
A discount decimal, the one that's underlined by the red thing.
We just use this.
No, don't do that. So that line, the D is supposed to be not capitalized.
Oh, it's not supposed to be.
Yeah. And then the one above that, there's an extra I.
Where?
After O.
After the O. How about the D uppercase in the middle? Is it okay now?
Yeah. Try to run it. Yeah.
It failed. Is it discount decimal like have anything wrong, or what does?
No, because there's no red line anywhere, so I don't think there's anything wrong. Cannot find or load main class. What? because it doesn't. I don't think there's anything wrong with the code, because if there was, there will be something red at least.
But you know what's wrong?
No, I can search it up. Wait. Oh no, there's something wrong with your like classes or something. Like it couldn't find the class name or something.
What?
I don't know. Just try to run it again.
There a
I
one
think
or
it. I don't know. Like I don't know why it says that, but like apparently there's something wrong with like your files and stuff, because everything's fine inside NetBeans, because like everything looks normal. It doesn't say there's mistakes on anything. But I don't know.
it's fine. I can stop my share screen. Are you still looking at it?
No. Okay. I'll search it up, and I'll try to answer you next class. Yeah. Yeah. Just I don't know. Try to create a new application or something. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Wait,
So,
next
yeah.
week are you gonna tell me, right? Next week you can fix it.
Yeah. Next week I'll search it up, and I'll tell you next week. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for teaching.
Thank
Yeah.
you for
No problem.
teaching.
Yeah. No problem, guys. All right.
And those who are watching this video, have a great time.
Subscribe, leave a like.
Okay,
Okay, bye guys.
thanks. It's still recording. Oh. Okay, we have a problem.
Only the host can stop it. It was the host who started recording.
Okay, then I'll stop it. Should I?
You didn't know.
I just noticed. The only way for us to actually stop it is the only way for us to actually stop it is if we end the meeting, which is the sad part. Timothy?
Ethan, call him noob.
Sorry, gotta go. Those who are watching this video, have a great time, and leave a like down below. You see that thumbs up, click it, and if you see the red button that says subscribe, please click it.
Bye.
We will get free $1. Well, not exactly. Have fun.